Hello, and welcome to another episode of Just Jim. I'm Jim Luff with Aurora Payments and our family of companies. I share educational information that helps all merchants understand merchant services by providing training, guidance, and advice. Aurora Payments is ranked among the top 5 merchant services providers in America. Today, I'm going to be talking about PCI compliance. PCI compliance is something that all merchants should be concerned about. Being out of compliance is likely a bigger concern because it can lead to some hefty fines. Accepting credit cards through a merchant services provider or credit card processor requires the signing of a merchant agreement that binds your business to the rules and regulations that are required by card brands to ensure businesses and consumers are protected in their transactions. All merchants using a processor such as Aurora Payments, Chosen Payments, or One Payment must comply with PCI regulations. So, what is PCI? PCI stands for the Payment Card Industry, and it represents 5 of the largest credit card issuers, such as MasterCard, Visa, American Express. Um, these card companies created the Data Security Standard, or DSS, to help reduce costly data breaches. Together, PCI DSS created a mandate that's required by card issuing companies like Visa and MasterCard to maintain compliance. The mandate includes fines for violations of compliance, and merchants agree to pay these fines and the associated monthly non compliance fees when signing a merchant agreement. Now, understanding PCI DSS compliance can be frustrating to most merchants, but it exists for a reason. And it should be noted that PCI compliance is not a law. It is a contractual agreement between you, your credit card processor, and the brands that you accept. So, what is being compliant? Well, being compliant means safeguarding your business and customers by safely and securely accepting credit cards, storing card data, processing cards, and transmitting cardholder data during transactions to prevent fraud and data breaches. Merchants of all sizes, service providers, banks, and other organizations that accept credit card payments must prove they are PCI compliant on an annual basis. Aggregators such as Square and PayPal don't require their merchants to be PCI compliant. Since Square and PayPal are PCI compliant themselves for all storage, processing, and transmissions of card data, their account holders do not need to certify that they are PCI compliant on an annual basis. Now, let's talk about compliance levels because there are 4 different levels that merchants fall into, and they're based on annual transactions and the organization size. And the two of those usually go hand in hand. Level one is probably the highest merchants who are doing more than 6 million transactions a year, or service providers with more than 300,000 transactions annually. Level two Level two merchants process between 1 and 6 million transactions, or there are service providers who do less than 300,000 transactions annually. Level three covers merchants who transact between 20,000 transactions and 1 million a year, but those are e commerce transactions. And level four handles less than 20,000 transactions annually. So, what is the cost of compliance? We're frequently asked that question about the cost of PCI DSS compliance. And there really isn't a single answer to give you, as the cost can vary from one company to the next. But for most small businesses, PCI DSS compliance and certification can range from about $100 to $300 a year, while a large enterprise like, say, a Target could be expected to pay between 50,000 and as high as 75,000 a year. So, the cost of non-compliance is probably more of an important question that you should be asking. If you fall out of compliance, you will be assessed a monthly non-compliance fine until you become compliant. Now, this fine is not assessed by your credit card processor, nor does your processor to get to keep that money. The fine is assessed by the PCI Council. And non compliant merchants can be barred from handling transactions or cardholder data and can lead to a complete shutdown of your merchant account if ignored. Also, your business would be financially liable for all data breaches, the cost of replacing credit cards that were compromised in a breach, forensic audits, and even the cost of the investigation itself will be passed on to you. So, how do you get annual compliance certification? Well, in most cases, merchants considered level 2 through level 4 can simply complete an annual self administered questionnaire. This is also known as an SAQ, which is a self validation tool. The SAQ contains a set of questions that merchants are required to complete each year and submit to their funding or acquiring bank. There are 9 different SAQ questionnaires that are used based upon how you handle cardholder data. Once you've completed the SAQ, you're issued an attestation of compliance, also known as an AOC. Each questionnaire varies from 22 questions to more than 329 questions. PCI compliance for level 1 merchants must be completed by an outside source. The PCI DSS self assessment questionnaire ranges from 19 pages to 87 pages and is created and distributed by the PCI Security Standards Council. And finally, let's take a look at the basic requirements of compliance. There are 6 requirements to compliance called control objectives. They are established by PCI DSS. The number 1 is to build and maintain a secure network and systems. Number 2 is to protect cardholder data. Number 3 is to maintain a vulnerability management program that tests your computer systems to see how vulnerable they are to outside sources gaining access to them. Number 4, implement strong access control measures. This means the people within your organization that have access to credit card data information. Number 5, regularly monitor and test your networks. And number 6, maintain an information security policy. PCI compliance can help prevent catastrophic financial losses. Aurora Payments can help you become or maintain your PCI compliance. Do you have questions about compliance? Call us at 833 Aurora 2. That number is 833-287-6722, or you can send your question in the form of an email to hello@aurorapayments.com. Thank you for joining us, and remember to click on that subscribe button to learn more about merchant services, and be kind and share this with a fellow merchant. See you soon in our next episode of Just Jim. Thanks for joining.